Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 139. And in this one is obviously the Man City reaction, reacting to, another one of the so-called big six coming to Kenilworth Road. Again, a narrow defeat. But yeah, let's get more into it. So obviously, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, all good, all good. Big up to everyone that was inside waiting as well, liking all of that. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So obviously we took on Man City at Kenilworth Road. Again, we both knew it was going to be, a tight one. We knew because we're at home, we were going to give them a game like we have with everyone that's come to Kenilworth Road. And yeah, obviously the lineup was a bit of an interesting one. Kaminsky was obviously in goal. Menji, Lockyer, and Bell. No Osho in this one. Rob Edwards has come out and said he was having a problem with his knee, but hopefully he should be back for Bournemouth. So hopefully he is, because Bell in that centre back role is not ideal. As we know, Doughty on the right. He's one where you're always going to play him, like we were saying, whether that's on the left or the right for this game. Giles started. Obviously, this was his first start since September, I believe, September or August, one or two. So that was interesting. But again, obviously, we had to go with it because, obviously, Doughty's already on the right. Corey couldn't play in this one. Osho being out as well. Midfield was Nakamba and Barkley. I had that slight feeling, especially if Nakamba obviously playing more recently than Lokonga, for example, and Barkley has just been phenomenal, really, especially in that CDM role, as we know. And in the front three, Townsend, Elijah, and Brown. So, again, sort of expected there. I think that's pretty much, other than Bell and Giles, I think that's pretty much what you said, wasn't it, Dad? In
Yeah.
that way.
Obviously, it was a bit disappointing to learn that Osho weren't playing, and Chio as well. Definitely. So we was missing a couple of, important players really who've been playing decent recently. Giles, you have to give him his first start, and then obviously Doughty, we knew he'd switch to the right. What I find that's going to be interesting is when Osho's back, for instance, he's going to go straight back into defence, isn't he? So then, are you going to put Bell, or are you going to put Giles on? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we've got Kabore, but for me, I'd keep Doughty on the right. I don't know.
No, it's interesting. I think more so the away games will probably play Bell on that left,
because you're just wasting them players in that. So if Kabore comes back, then you're going to put Doughty there, and then you've got two other players. Like, I guess Giles can start coming on, but then Bell's more defensive, obviously, than Giles. I guess it's just a little bit luxury you can have, like on that side, if you want how you want to go. If you want to attack more, put Giles on. If you want to, but Bell's good at going forward as well, so it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Nakamba, good to see him back. Good to see Elijah starting again. It was a bit wet, but Bell at centre back. At the end of the day, it's not what ideal for us, and we still kept it tight. So.
Yeah, no, it's true. Obviously, the bench, Anderson, another player that was obviously good to see him back. Obviously he started a lot of games at the start, and he looked very composed. So obviously didn't quite come on in this game, understandable, but obviously as the weeks go on now, we know he's going to be in the squad again, which is obviously good to see. Berry, Chong, Clark, Johnson, Krul, Lokonga, again, obviously good to see him back as well, all that experience and that side of things as well. Obviously, he did come on in this one as well. So obviously, with obviously Nakamba getting a yellow card, which we'll get a bit more into. Obviously, Lokonga will most likely start, I'd imagine, alongside Ross Barkley against Bournemouth. And then obviously Morris and Ruddock were the other ones. So, it's a decent bench. It's good to see more options are back again. like I say, with Lukonga and obviously Anderson. And you've got the attacking options there as well, So yeah, that's that. And then moving on to the first half. Now, it's an interesting one. I'd say the first big chance was probably the Foden shot. Not the Foden shot, sorry, the Rodri shot, which was a good save, tip over the bar by Kaminsky. Yet again, he was really good in this game. The 2 goals again, unfortunate for him. Couldn't really do much about them, but made 3 really good, standout saves for me in this game. Obviously, the Rodri one at the start, is a good save over. Then Foden had one shortly after. It was, in a way, it was a double save in a way because Foden's put a lot of power underneath it, and Kaminsky's obviously got to it, but he hasn't, proper caught it first time. But obviously, he was always going to get onto the rebound, so that was good there. And then, it was one where, to be fair, I felt we were defending pretty well. Man City, they were trying to play long balls quite a lot of times. Up there, Lockyer done well defensively. Menji, yet again, obviously when it comes to heading the ball away and just getting it out. And then obviously we had that moment. I was saying on the watch long, I'd definitely take going in 0-0 at half time. I even said it on the Hat Show the other day. And then obviously we did obviously take the lead, which was even better. Ross Barkley, all started from him yet again, in the sense of him putting it past Bernardo Silva and then Rodri, that was absolutely brilliant. And then obviously passed it out to Doughty, and then Doughty laid it off to Townsend. Townsend gets it in there. That's something we've seen from him a lot, which is, shown with his experience, the way he's, lifted the balls in and we've got onto some of them at times, even like the impact in the Nottingham Forest game, for example, by him was shown. And obviously it's a brilliant cross to Elijah, who, as we know, again, like you said as well, going into it, he's got that aerial presence, and we want to see him do that, and obviously he did. And then we were 1-0 up. The roar at Kenilworth Road was absolutely crazy, and yeah, it's crazy. We were 1-0 up against the current treble winners, which was obviously phenomenal. But what did you make of the goal?
Yeah, it was an excellent goal. Well worked, good football. And that's the quality you expect from Townsend, and fair play to Elijah. I told you, he'll out jump anyone, I think, in the Premier League like that. And he's powerful. And there's 2 of them up against him there. So I think he's our top scorer now. So really pleased for him. Kaminsky, in the first half, again, this is what I was saying before, keeps us in the game. Gives the rest of the team that confidence. And made 3 or 4 excellent saves in the first half. And then again, it come from Barkley initially. Pirouette through 2 of their players, laid out a pass to Doughty, and then Doughty wing flicked it to Townsend. Great. And they weren't really expecting, it's one of them, last sort of minute of the first half, etc., in extra time. And yeah, it's good. Is that the first time we've been 1-0 up at half time?
Yeah, I think it might have been from the top of my head that I can think of.
The only other one I possibly think of maybe was, well, apart from Everton, I think.
Oh, yeah, obviously we would, yeah.
Wolves, possibly. I'm not sure. But anyway, like that was against, Man City, was impressive. But we knew they'd come out. And we knew our weaknesses at the back, etc. Yeah, I thought we'd done all right. I don't think they were peppering us too much. Like I said before, a team that's peppering us more. Most I've seen this season, especially in the first half, Tottenham, maybe Liverpool as well. It's quite a similar game to that, but we had more. But we missed Chio. Do you know what I mean? We missed a couple of things that would have helped us in the second half, even if we'd have been able to bring him off the bench. Power forward a couple of times. But yeah, it was good to go in with the lead. And yeah, obviously I wanted it to continue. Went for a mad 3-2 win, or I would have took 1-0 anyway, or whatever. But
yeah, Yeah. Yeah, going back to what you're saying, the only time we've obviously been more than 1-0 up was obviously Everton. So yeah, that was the first time, being 1-0 up this season, obviously excluding the Gillingham game, even then, I don't know what that was to be fair, but in the league anyway. But yeah, it was brilliant, to go in 1-0, and then obviously going into the second half, City started piling up a little bit of pressure. Obviously, they had a chance, but, before their two goals, Kaminsky, again, another brilliant save onto the crossbar. You know, obviously it was one where I think Ake played it across. I think Rodri maybe shot. It's someone like that, and he saved it onto the crossbar. It was, a brilliant save yet again. And then obviously that they did score. Shortly after that, obviously Rodri makes a run. He, fell, and then it sort of, laid to where Bernardo Silva was. And to be fair, you can't really do anything about that. It's a great finish. It was one of them where I was a bit gutted in a way. I wasn't necessarily annoyed with that goal. I was more so gutted because Rodri, as much as he's, if we're being honest, he's probably City's biggest player. Everyone will say Haaland because the goals, etc., and that, but the stat I read out the other day, he played 43 games for City. Or when he has played 43, they've won all 43. And you could see, they haven't lost a game with him, starting. And obviously Big Steve, big up to him again for coming on the channel. Even he was saying like definitely put him back in, because you have to, because how good that stat is. And, definitely you could definitely see why, he is, for me, their most important player in this game, obviously having that run. And just a little bit annoying to see, he is a CDM, he shouldn't, really be able to do that. But it's a great finish. I can't take nothing away from the finish. There's a bit of our player and their player falling over, Carl Walker and someone on the left, but they were nowhere near the ball, so it wasn't a foul or anything like that. But great finish. Sometimes you just can't do anything about them goals, unfortunately, especially when the Man City have got the quality we know they do in their team. But what did you make of their first goal, Dad?
Yeah, well, Bernardo Silva scored, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was one, and come back to him, and it was real quality. Slammed it in, and that's Premier League world class quality. It's not really you can do. They just snatched on them moments. It was a bit of deflection. I think Lockyer ran into one of their players, and it deflected to him. Bang, finished. That's what you're going to get. There's not a lot you can do about that at the end of the day. So, right in the corner, keeper no chance.
yeah, exactly. Big up to Lewis inside. Says, evening, lads. How you both? Hope you're both okay. Yeah, we're good. Thanks, mate. Hope you're well as well. But yeah, obviously they got that. And then shortly after, again, like I say, they were piling up quite a bit of pressure on us, like they were in the first half. But then we just sort of obviously had that good moment at the end, obviously, didn't we? Good play from Barkley. But obviously, putting pressure on us, after that goal, more pressure on us. And then obviously Grealish scored. It all started. Bell, he tried playing it back. For me, you can't really blame him for this one. There was potential for a handball shout, but I'm not really too sure if I'm being honest. As Bell tried to play it back. And then obviously, they got the ball from it. And then obviously the ball was played across. A lot of people having a bit of a go at Menji. For me, it was difficult for him because it's 2 versus 1. He can't really do much, especially, I'm going to keep saying it, but it's just true. And I still believe they'll win the league against Man City. When they got 2 of their players on 1, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. And, Menji's been phenomenal every game for me, since he's come in, So I wouldn't really say it's his fault. I thought he's quite unlucky, to be honest with you. I just felt, where was Lockyer in that? I thought first half Lockyer was good. I said it on the watch long, heading everything away alongside Menji. But where was Lockyer there? I don't understand. But I thought Bell was unlucky there. We know he's not, he's not good enough in centre back, but we had to do with what we've had to do, sort of thing. I don't blame him for what he tried doing. I just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think Menji could have done an awful lot. 2 versus 1, and then obviously Grealish got onto it. again, good finish, good place finish. Kaminsky couldn't do much. But yeah, what did you make of the second one they got that?
Yeah, it was a little bit fortuitous in the way that, that they it didn't hit him in the hands or arms or anything until it actually hit him in the face. So I think that what happened was our players, probably Lockyer, definitely anticipated that it was handball, and then for that split second or two, you play to the whistle, and at the end of the day, or you just play there was like a slight pause. Then moments you can't really do that in the Premier League, and then he was chasing back, and Menji was already there, but against two players, like say, and he's trying to slide in, which probably is why everyone's sort of going, what was he doing? But he's the only one there against two players. Which at least he weren't just standing there. Lockyer coming at the end, but it's gone. No one else was there either. So there was that little split. I think that's it, and that's what you get with real quality teams, isn't it? They're just going to get up and playing, and it's one of them things that you learn. Some of the players have still got that championship stuff in them. That probably in the championship probably would, because it did proper look like handball. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it wasn't at all, and even to the point where Pep was giving it all the sort of mannerisms and that on the touchline, and saying it hit his face. What can you do?
Yeah,
we're still in the game.
Yeah, no, we were. Last bit I'm going to talk about an overall bit of the game was the yellow card Nakamba got, which obviously is going to rule him out for the Bournemouth game, because obviously he's got 5 yellow cards now. A bit of an annoying one to give away as well. It's sort of similar to, in the sense of, how silly it was in a way to what Woodrow done when obviously we took on Sunderland last season when he weren't even on the pitch and he threw the ball away and then tried acting all innocent. It's a bit of a frustrating one, but for me, it probably most likely means we're going to go with Ross Barkley and Lokonga. Obviously, Lokonga got a bit of a run out in this one, so yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating one from Nakamba for me. But what did you make of that yellow card, Dad?
Yeah, it is. I didn't mind it too much. It was a bit annoying, but I didn't realise it was his 5th card. So maybe, if he knew that was the case, then he probably shouldn't have been kicking the ball. I can understand if it was a late tackle or whatever, he's putting in the effort to do it like that. And if you're knowing that, be interesting. I don't know if the Congo will start. May come off the bench and that, but I don't know. He's not had enough football. I'm not sure. Potentially, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Rudder back there and the Congo on the bench comes on later on. But we'll see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But yeah, big up to Jackie inside. Says hi, Ty does. I thought we was great. Played well every week. We are improving. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing you've got to take into account. Look at it's like Chris's comment here. Luton showed they deserve to be in the Premier League, the worst team in Premier League history, according to Human Worms. Competed with all 3 title contenders, which is true. Liverpool drew, very unlucky not to win, let's be honest. Obviously, that, performance was against Arsenal was phenomenal. The first team to score 3 goals against them this season, narrowly losing that, quite unfortunate, heartbreaking. And we didn't think we'd say that. Let's be honest. When we was, at the start of the season, when we was going to play, the teams like that are the ones that are up there, sort of thing. And then City, we gave them a game. They're going to have their chances. Because it's just the quality that their side possesses. But we are improving, and like you say, that we haven't really got battered. Let's be honest. The first couple of games we were still adapting. Like the Brighton and Chelsea ones. So you've got to look at that as well. Obviously we expect that we will get it at some point. For me personally, it'll probably be most likely when we go to Anfield or the Etihad. One of them two more so than the others. But you've got to look at that as well. And a few of the others that come up have had it already, and we haven't. So that's another thing you've got to take into account. But anything you'd like to add on these, Dad?
Yeah, Barkley had a chance later on as well. And yeah, we have improved. We just need to go on a little run. You know, a lot of teams normally do it at some point through the season. You know, win 3 games in a row or something like that, or be unbeaten and get 7 points out of 12. You know, something like that. That's what we need to be hopefully doing. But you know, all 3 teams are finding it difficult. It's quite interesting. You know, it's the gap. And I get, yeah. But before the gap, we didn't really look like that. But even if you look at the teams that have gone down into the Championship, apart from, you know, obviously move Ipswich out of the equation because they're doing unreal. And if Leicester, Southampton and Leeds weren't there, they'd be getting a lot more credit. I mean, they're getting a lot anyway, but and them teams are well ahead of like the teams in the playoffs and the chasing pack by, you know, like 15, 16, 17 points. So, you know, it's saying the gap is like that, but if we go down and recruit well, let's see why we shouldn't be one of them top 3 teams again.
Yeah,
we've got that preparation more now. Like even we have kind of probably planned for the Championship as well in certain ways. And if Barkley and Townsend do go, if we get relegated, then we'll obviously have to replace them and realise that we've got to get some quality in there, because if you go up again, then you're starting again from scratch. Yes, some of these players would have had the experience this time, which would help massively, definitely. But you still need that quality. You need to keep it and try and attract more to your club. So it could be pivotal if we can keep hold of someone, both of them players, if we get relegated, and then add some more. I don't see no reason why we won't go back up again. Obviously, depending on who else comes down with us. You know, I'm sure Leicester, Southampton, and Leeds ain't all going to get promoted. It probably will be Ipswich. The way they're going, just the football, the confidence they've got. I think they might drop off a little bit, but yeah, one of them teams possibly won't get promoted, Leeds or Southampton. And we know it's a difficult league. Premier League, you kind of know what you're going to get, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Some teams you just tell them they'll just roll you over, and you're just like, what happened there? Like, I don't know, but definitely not. We know we wouldn't be the worst team in history at all. We know that, but we do deserve to have more points than we've got. It's just got to the stage where other teams have caught us up a little bit, because of the run we've had. We have been unlucky with certain points where in some of their games, I'm sure that they've got away with a few things. Maybe not Burnley, but I'm sure Sheffield United got lucky with a couple of things. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they have authority. Think, you know, when they got that win against Wolves, you know, that was never a penalty. So that's a
yeah, stuff like that. We haven't really had that.
No, we haven't. If anything, you know, we should have had that penalty against West Ham, for example. Let's be honest. So we could have got a draw out of that. I believe we would have. To be honest, with how it was going towards the end of that game, but you know, we've got to move on from that. Big up to Nicardo Media House in the chat. Big up to yourself, mate. But yeah, that is that on that. Let's get into the player ratings. So obviously Kaminsky in goal, I'll say 4 really good saves. I'll think about it. You know, obviously the 2 I mentioned from the first half. Obviously that second half one as well. And there was another really good one from him as well. So, you know, obviously couldn't have done anything for the goals yet again. You know, as much as obviously we lost, obviously he did concede 2. He is still up there for man of the match. You know, he could be. In some people's opinions. It's not quite mine, but like I say, he is close up there. I'm going to go for a 7.5 for Kaminsky.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. He is my man of the match. Again, like as I said earlier, I kept us in the game. He's being consistent, the most consistent at the moment. You know, he's played every single game. And he's, apart from the first couple of games, been pretty consistent. So yeah, I'm going to hit 7.5. Kept us in the game, looking like a really good keeper. And again, if you go down, he ain't going anywhere. Like not unless someone comes with a massive bid for him. And it'd be excellent if he's performing like that in the Premier League. You know, Championship, we should be a little bit easier for him. Not maybe he's one of these keepers that thrives on that, needs them shots. But Blackburn fans told us as well, they know. So yeah, man of the match for me again. We should do a little totting up chart so we can see like
who gets it the most. Yeah, could do that. Could do that, to be fair. Started from today, yeah.
Well, yeah, started from today, might as well,
yeah. So, what am I doing? Just players and how many times we vote. So, like, I'll put their name and then put 1 or 2. Say we both voted 2. All right.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back on all the other shows and then, whatever. Is my man a match 7.5?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll start from today. Why not? Because it's brought up today. So we'll start from today. Kaminsky will be yours. Fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we will go over to Menji. Now, again, like I say, a few people, obviously talk about the second goal. I'll say for me, it was always going to be difficult for him. The more I look back on it as well, especially against 2 of their players. Overall, I felt he done decent again. Especially in the first half, him and Lockyer, when Man City were trying to get the ball up there a couple of times, they were just headering it away. He was a massive part of that again. So I'm going to go with a 7 for Menji.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I'm not sure, if he normally, when Osho is playing, he normally starts on the left. I'm not sure where Bell was playing, basically. I think he's switch it up a couple of times, but Osho, I'm sure, normally plays on the right.
Yeah, they do have a bit of chop and change, them two. I've noticed that.
A bit of that as well. I'll give him a 7. He went terrible, and I don't blame him for that goal at all. It's ridiculous. These world-class players that you're playing against there, and if you're the only one, at least he was in that position. That's all I'm going to say about that. 7.
Yeah. Moving on to Lockyer. Again, like I say, I thought he was decent in the first half. Second half, weren't really too sure where he was on the goal, if I'm being honest. For me, obviously it was his first game, back as well, since obviously the injury. So I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go to 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. I'll say it's probably not fully 100% ready, but with the injuries and stuff, we're not going to start Anderson. Osho was out as well, so yeah, wasn't bad. Like saying the first half was pretty deep. Yeah, no, 6.5. Sorry, my phone was going.
No, sorry. Then moving on to Bell, like I say, it's not ideal, putting him in that centre back, but we've got to make do. Like you say, Osho being out, you're not going to put Anderson back in. And Locker is the captain as well. So, he has played recently, so it makes sense to start him. Bell, like I say, I don't really blame him on the second goal. There weren't really anywhere else for him to pass it, so he had to sort of go that way. I had a few little moments. I'm going to go with another 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5, but I don't think he was that bad. Considering with playing Man City, he's a bit better in this position, his awareness and that, and trying to get forward where he can. But we all know his best position is on the left. So 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to Giles, we're going to Giles now. I thought his performance was okay. I don't think it was awful. A few crosses into the box weren't overly great, but then some were decent. It's a bit of a 50-50 game for him. But you've got to remember, this is his first start since August or September. I always get muddled up. It's one of the two. And I didn't really expect him to start. I do believe as the season goes on, depending on what happens with, our defensive injuries as the season continues, do probably expect him when he does start to be more so the home games. But I thought he was okay. I don't think he was as bad as some people might have thought. I'm going to go with a 6.5 again.
Yeah, same. I thought he's, he needs minutes at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It was getting there. Some of his crosses, you could see that he has got the ability. A couple of them were blocked and stuff, but he was quite patient on the ball. He's just got to grow into the team. He hasn't really grown into the team as much as like some of the other new signings. He hasn't really had that opportunity. So yeah, 6.5.
yeah, that's true. And then moving on to Doughty, like we said, he had to start this game, whether that's on the left or the right. More so expected it on the right because obviously Kabore not being available to play. And I thought he was decent. I thought he was decent in the game. Obviously he did get a yellow card, but I did think he was good. Again, his link up with Ross Barkley is very good. Obviously on the first goal, Ross Barkley done, phenomenal, of course, to get it past Bernardo Silva and Rodri. And then obviously he laid it off to Doughty, who then laid it off to Townsend to cross it in to Elijah. And, you saw a few moments of him, going forward, and doing what we know he's good at. So for me, Doughty, I'm going to go over 7.
I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he played really well. He's like now he has took a couple of yellow cards this season by pulling back players and that, but that's just fine sometimes, because you need to do that. And he's just looking real quality times. Obviously involved in the goal. Just worked his socks off, even right to the end, like before he got substituted, he was defending and that as well. So yeah, 7.5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to Nakamba, I say it's a bit of a disappointing yellow card to get. It's more so because I already knew, if he got one more, obviously he missed the Bournemouth game. But obviously it's good, like I say, that we've got, Lukonga back, in that role as well to, help him, or it might be Ruddock that starts, like you say. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, it's going to be one of them two alongside Ross Barkley, most likely, especially away against Bournemouth, who are obviously on form. But yeah, a bit of an annoying one to get. But again, he's a player that you're always going to start in this game. I'm going to go for Nakamba. I'm going to go with. I've seen better. I'm going to go for 6.
I thought he was decent, but apart from the yellow card, obviously they had a lot of the ball, but he was there fighting, winning the ball, trying to win the tackles. And that he played all right, really. He had a impact on the midfield, so I'm going to give him a 7.
Fair enough. And then Barkley, he's my man of the match if I was to give one. So I'll put that on the little the thing now. Again, I thought he was brilliant. Obviously playing in that role again. Obviously the first goal, phenomenal. For him to put it past Bernardo Silva and Rodri. And obviously lay it off, and then obviously. I said what I said a minute ago about that goal, but yeah, I thought he was really good again. Obviously, he had that chance as well, like you said, a bit later on in the game. And yeah, he's just looking really good now. He's looking really good. I can't wait until he's high, being able to play higher up. Because we're just going to see him, definitely get more goals. But yeah, decent for me, like I say, but man of match if I was to give one. I'm going to say. Hard not to give him quite a high rating, if I'm being honest. I'm going to go with a 8.5.
Yeah. I'll give him a 7.5. I think in the first half, he wasn't crap or anything like that, but we just didn't get him on the ball. No, he wasn't able to get on the ball enough, but when he did, he was good. And then obviously involved in goal, and then later on the shot, and that he looks real quality again. Like I said, he can probably get in the way he's playing at the moment, especially in any Premier League midfield. And if we start playing well, like against Brentford, like if we all start playing better, then we got to play to his strengths, I think. So yeah, for his contribution and just how composed he is in the ball, he looks better and better in each game, and his part in the goal yet again. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the front three, start off with Townsend. Obviously, lovely assist. Obviously good to see him, obviously get on there again. I believe that might be second assist maybe of the season. And going back to what you said as well about Elijah, he's the top goal scorer now. He has overtook Morris. He is on 4 goals for us. But yeah, Townsend obviously good assist. Again, obviously he's getting better by game upon, obviously getting into the, the fitness side of things as well, and the match sharpness, impacting games, his experience is showing. So for me, when it comes to Townsend, I'm gonna go with a 7.5.
Another 7.5. There's a lot of them going through today.
Yeah.
Great assist, works hard. Like I say, his fitness is obviously getting better. Yeah, just and we want it in January, but he wants a longer contract. I'm pretty sure he's going to get that. Let's be honest. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to Stephen inside as well. But yeah, moving on to Brown. Again, I would have started him in this one. Obviously I went with him and Elijah. But I thought he was really good actually, to be fair. I thought he had quite an underrated performance, I think is the right word to say there. He was getting proper stuck in, and he was doing very well. And again, I know I've said in the past, he gets back but he was doing tackles like in our attacking areas, winning the ball back and that sort of thing. I was really, really impressed with his, work rate in this game. I thought he was pretty decent, to be honest. So again, I'm gonna go with another 7.5.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best bar a goal performance I have from him. He was getting fouled left, right, and centre initially, and then there was a moment where there were people saying he should have got sent off, but that wasn't. Yeah, it was kind of 2-footed, but it wasn't like a lunge. Do you know what I mean? And he won the ball. So for me,
and I've seen a lot worse.
Worse. End of the day, VAR reviewed it and gave nothing. So I would have expected him to maybe get a yellow card, but again, it's like, well, you know what I mean? It wasn't like as deep as they were making it out. And yeah, he was all over the place, like fighting, laying off good passes. Yeah, really impressed. He relished it, and is enjoying his football now, at the moment. So another 7.5.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then moving on to the last player that started, obviously Elijah getting off the mark. Like I say, he is now the top goal scorer for us this season. And it's going to be hard to drop him. It's going to be hard to drop him at the moment. Obviously, 2 out of 2 goals, 2 headers as well. And yeah, obviously, lovely, connection he got on it. Edison had no chance. And, he was causing threats like we thought he would in this game, especially with another thing about him going into this is another reason why I started him, and I know you're the same, Dad, is because he puts pressure, puts players under. And, obviously Man City, sometimes they do have their moments where, they are on the ball a bit too much, so you can try and capitalise on that. And you saw that a few times, like I say, with Brown getting stuck in, Elijah a few times as well. So yeah, obviously good to see him score again. I would definitely start him on the weekend. So yeah, for me, Elijah, I'm gonna go with a. I'm gonna go with an 8 for Elijah.
Another 7.5 for me. I thought he was really, good, working hard. This is what he was doing that a hell of a lot in this game, chasing down, and not stop until he caught there. Did he get substituted? No, he didn't. He played the full 90 minutes. So yeah, brilliant goal. Position, running to the ball. We know how good it. Once he's a confidence player. He's basically saying, and because he's working hard as well, like you can't drop me. And yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the subs, obviously Lukonga come on. That's another thing that also makes me think Lukonga might start against Bournemouth because Ruddock was obviously on the bench and he didn't come on at all. So maybe, Lukonga having a bit more experience, even though Ruddock's played, Bournemouth a few times over the years, as we know, I just feel away from home with the form Bournemouth on, we'll probably go with Lukonga. But obviously he got 18-minute plus added time run out in this one. again, he looked okay when he come on. I say again, obviously we haven't seen him for a while, but to a lot of players, decent again. So for me, I'm gonna go over 6 point. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go over 7 actually for Lukonga.
Yeah, I'll give him I'll give him a 7 as well because he did look comfortable when he come on. You could see that his passing range was good. He weren't panicking. You see, he's got that Premier League quality. You can. And I heard a couple of weeks ago that he was offered to Burnley full time, but Burnley wanted him full time, and he said no because I want to get back into the Arsenal team if possible. So
Yeah,
that chose a loan option. He's obviously going to be itching to go because he ain't really had the season yet. He's halfway through the season, so you could be right with that. But he did look quite comfortable when he come on. So and was directly replaced Nakamba. So
yeah,
7.
yeah. No, absolutely. And then Morris come on at the same time. Now, at least it wasn't as poor as when he come on against Arsenal. Because let's be real, he was quite poor in that. But this game, to be fair, he had a few moments where he's going forward. Especially on that right. I think he tried to cross it in a few times as well. If I can remember rightly, he was okay when he come on. It's still not quite going to get him a start for me. And I know you're sure you're the same on that, Dad. I'm going to go Morris. I'm going to have 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. He looks all right when he come on, to be fair, like hungry and stuff, and looking to get involved and doing what he can do. Especially with him and Elijah on the pitch. I mean, we haven't really seen that too much this season as well. And last season, that's what it was, isn't it? For long periods of time. But I think the first couple of games, we might have done that. We've played differently now, and this, that, and the other. So we don't see it a lot. But I was pleased that he come on when Elijah was still on the pitch. I do think that helps him a little bit as well. So maybe that's something we can look for to going forward. Now Elijah's got his confidence back and stuff. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen a few people say I don't think Morris is prem quality. I do think that's a bit harsh because I remember a lot of times at the start of the season, me and you, if we were predicting someone to score, it was going to be him because he was the only one doing it. He has had some really good performances, and sometimes these players have patchy moments, and I think that's what it might just be with him. But I do believe for him to get back on the side, he sort of needs to have an impact like Jacob Brown and Elijah have, where they've come on and scored. Like Elijah in the Burnley game, the Forest game, Brown obviously in the Palace one. So that's how I feel. When it comes to Morris, I do definitely think he is, Premier League quality, and he can, possess them stuff. And plus, we just weren't seeing him do what we know he's good at, before he got dropped, which was, being that aerial presence. The last couple of games anyway. In the box, causing the threats. People were saying the ball weren't going up to him, but he just weren't getting in the box at times. Look at the Palace first half, for example. So yeah, that's that on that. And then the last two subs, obviously, we only made 4 in this out of 5. Chong obviously come on with 6 minutes left. Can't really remember too much, if I'm honest. So I'm probably just going to go over 6.
Yeah, 6 for him and Clark for me.
Yeah. Clark was obviously 90th minute. So again, that's another one there when it comes to 6. So yeah, obviously man of the matches. Obviously yours is Kaminsky, and mine is obviously Ross Barkley again. So yeah, looking at it, I predicted it. I thought it'd be. I knew we'd give him a game because we're at Kenilworth Road and we've give everyone a game at home. And yeah, it's one of them where again, it's similar to Arsenal in the sense for me where I was a little bit gutted. But at the same time, the more I think about it, we are playing Man City, who for me will still go on and win the league. I do believe that. Them or Liverpool for me, especially the sense they've both, had that bit where they've been there and done it, especially over the years. But Rodri being back for them as well, like I said, was obviously massive. For me, he's their most important player. But yeah, it's a little bit gutting, but at the same time, we did play very well. We took the lead. We took the lead as well, which was absolutely crazy. So, big up to us for that. But Dad, your final thoughts on the game as a whole?
Well, we've got that. 3 big teams out of the way at Kenilworth Road. We've got a slightly easier run now, and we've got to just try and capitalise on that and take our performances from these, particularly last 2 games, and just carry them over now, because this is fighting. We've got to fight. So we are, but we've got to show that a little bit extra now, right? And hopefully we can. Things have been progressing slightly. Like say, first time we 1-0 up at half time, whatever. At home, definitely. Games as well. To come from 2-1 down to 3-2 up against Arsenal. So the signs are all there. So we've just got to turn that into wins at the moment. Points, wins against teams that ain't as good as them team, So bring on Bournemouth. I'm quite looking forward to that one, because I do think there's certain things that could help us in that. The size of their stadium being very similar to ours, the pitch probably small as well. So that enables us to play like we do at home in certain aspects. So I think that's going to help us. Played them before. Yeah, they're on a good run of form, but we're going to make this one of them where we can turn it over. They're not going to keep winning. They will slip up, and I think that it's a good opportunity for us to do that. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad one with them, isn't it? It's like you say, they're on a bit of form. The manager was under a bit of pressure a couple of weeks ago, and now they're just getting wins and unbeaten. But yeah, last time obviously you played Bournemouth was that memorable one. So during the week, I will recap that. Obviously the 3-2 when Naismith scored. So I will obviously recap that with a little bit of shorts, reels, all of that. But any final things you'd like to say in general, Dad? Obviously we will get into the Bournemouth preview a bit more on Friday. So yeah.
No, that's it.
There you go. That has been the Hat Show, episode 139. Obviously, big up to everyone that has tuned in. We are currently on 11 likes, so big up. I know a lot of people watch us back on playback as well. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel. 4 new subscribers yesterday during the watch along. So big up. I did realise I got one after as well. So big up for that. And fan football reactions. Obviously, do check their channel out. They put reactions. Sorry if you can't hear that. It's a bit of a madness out there. But yeah, they do post just the fans reacting to the games that do watch-alongs, and every time Luton play, they love to put me on it. And do check that out. Put it on the community post. Quite funny looking back on my reactions at some points. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, do check that out. Put that on the community post. And yeah, like I say, obviously do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell as well. Do subscribe to the extra channel as well. Again, we've got a few new subscribers on that as well, so do appreciate that. And then follow me across the socials as well, TikTok, all of that as well. And big up, we gained a lot of followers on that recently. I think we was maybe one of the first people to break out the Haaland news, because that video ended up getting 22,000 views. And a lot of people were looking at that and that sort of thing. But again, obviously, big up to Big Steve for coming on as well for that. And like I say, follow me across socials, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, a lot. Again, a few new followers on Twitch again, so appreciate that. Don't know when I'll next be live on there, but just keep your eyes peeled. It'll be gaming stuff on there. And we'll be back again on Friday. Thursday, I'll release my Premier League predictions on the community posts, except obviously the Luton game. I'll give that a blank, like I did for the Man City one. And then, obviously we'll be back again on Friday. Like I said, I'm hoping to get some Bournemouth fans on, but it's not 100%. But obviously it'll be one of them where you'll just see on the day sort of thing. Or if I find out on Thursday or before Thursday, then I'll probably put it in the community post and let you lot know that as well. So that is that. But big up everyone. Until next time, take care and peace up the town.